Yes, people. What's going on in Seagull Talks Football? We're back again with another video. I did not realize that if you have a green LED light, that it messes up everything. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? And why is Brian Mbeumo behind me? What's going on? What is this? What on earth is this LED light? Look at that. What the hell? Why is Brian Mbeumo there? Honestly, life is weird right now. I got people attacking me. I got people on Twitter showing love. All I gotta say is shout out to everybody. Genuinely, you guys made my day. Today's been a good day. I've had myself a wonderful day. And Arsenal news is back, ladies and gentlemen. We got a Arsenal panel show. What I tell you guys, things are gonna heat up after July 1st, and things have heated up. Kepa's done. Tomorrow Zubamendi is gonna be done. And today, what I heard really, really shocked me. Shocking news. And when I say shocking news, I mean shocking news. Arsenal could get 3 attackers. It's been revealed. Eze, Rodrygo, and potentially a striker on top of that. David on seen specific words. Eze, in addition to a striker and a left winger. Now, we are linked to Noni Madueke. We are linked to some other guys, but we got to talk about all of them. Before we go any further, let me bring in the panelists. And we got a busy show on our hands today. Shout out to everyone on all platforms. Please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And let me make sure I am already watching the video myself. Where is it? Where is this video? What's going on? Okay, let's bring the panel in. First things first, we got Le African Gunner in the building. He's going to be starting his own YouTube channel. I'm going to put the link in the description once he's ready with that. We got Gunner Souls in the house, one of the right-hand mans. I'm going to put him up top. Sorry, Le African Gunner. It's my right-hand man.
All good. What's good, Souls?
We got Ursan in the building, in case you guys don't know. Top TikToker right there. One of the guys right there doing his thing. And then don't forget, we got another TikToker in the building. Big up to his interviews recently with Chuba Akpon and Awobi. Bro, Awobi was vibing with you. First, he thought it was all professional. Then you came out saying what you said, and he's like, holy guy. What are you saying, Dylan?
He's all right. He's good, man. Awobi's really nice. He's got.
You threw him off the moment you said you only score bangers. Or you don't score shit goals.
He's nice for everyone. It's his event, so he made a lot of time for a lot of people. It was nice.
There you go. People saying solidarity raid. Shout out to Fanzone TV for the raid. Big up to them. I'm gonna need to go send out a link to one more person. But guys, take it away. We got Le African Gun in the building. We got Ursan in the building. We got Souls in the building. What are you guys talking about? How you guys feeling right now before we get into the intro and all the topics?
Just all right. It's looking good.
All right.
Things are looking good.
Yeah, from
interesting with transfer talk here and out, but the Madueke news has kind of caught me off guard a little bit. But we move.
Yeah, from my perspective, I think this summer has been a bit refreshing. I know that some Arsenal fans feel like we haven't done all the business that we needed to, which is true. But it can also be true that we've done business that we needed to do, and that's good that we've done them early, that we've done them well, completed, right? We filled in a lot of the positions, kind of the bench positions, which I don't think we have in previous seasons. And we're negotiating our bigger deals, aka Eze, Rodrygo, Sesko, Gyokeres, etc., right? And we did well in terms of not overspending in positions that, we're not trying to improve in terms of out-and-out starters for our team, right? So in terms of the left winger and the striker, these are going to be hopefully 2 players that are going to start every single week. If Eze comes, he's going to compete with Odegaard, trying to displace him. So, I think Arsenal fans should be very patient. I would say that Arsenal fans should not listen to Portuguese media, not listen to French media. Don't get carried away by all these rumors. You're sensible enough kind of to figure out what you think is realistic and probably true when you read something, right? Like considering like what you've read before, what you're seeing historically, like have we been linked to this player previously in previous years, and like putting all of that together and making your own consensus on whether you believe something, right? And also having the presence of mind and understanding that the media wants to create divide, the media wants to create noise and drama, right? Because that's the summer transfer window. That's what it's all about. So, we should really just be patient. We're going on preseason soon. So let's see what players come back when they come back. And they're going for Spain for 5 days. So excited.
Let's get into the topics, ladies and gentlemen. No more talking about Thomas Partey, unfortunately, Dylan. It is officially over. What are you going to do with the flag,
It's
mate?
not. Mate, he's still on the Arsenal website under the squad. First name on the midfielder list. If you go right
He's
here.
officially gone, mate. Give it up. Thomas Partey's gone, man.
That's top 5 things that are not true. There's still hope. Men's team, goalkeepers, defenders, and if you go to the midfielders, I think you'll find right there at the top. Right there at the top of the midfielders on the Arsenal.
He's done, bro. He's done, man. Give it up. Give it up. Partey might be still on the website, but he's gone.
Man, just know he's going Ghana, I reckon. I see it.
Still haven't had a. I can't hear what you're saying. The mic's messed up.
Well, you think he's going to take a deal now that we've got Norgard? No chance.
Have we got Norgard?
I don't see it.
Norgard hasn't been announced.
Nah, all right. Enough about that. Let's get into the first topic. First topic, guys. My first question to you guys is, the Noni Madueke stuff has gotten a little bit more crazy. We're hearing more and more about Noni Madueke. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you think, I know Gunnar Souls, you said Noni Madueke stuff is bullshit a couple days ago, but now that you're seeing more and more and more about Noni Madueke, Fabrizio Romano yesterday said Arsenal are in internal discussions separate to the Eze deal with Noni Madueke, and of course no proposal yet to Chelsea or Noni Madueke, as Arsenal keep multiple options. This was reported yesterday. We have 10 hours ago reports coming out about Noni Madueke. We're hearing Noni Madueke reports left, right, and center. Chelsea fans are getting excited because they might sell us another dud. But we're hearing reports about Arsenal intend to stop don't intend to stop at Eze, and also made an offer to sign Noni Madueke, as reported by L'Equipe 10 hours ago. Honestly, more and more stuff about Noni Madueke, left, right, and center. At this point, surely it can't be fake. You're even 45 minutes ago, you have Florian Plattenberg coming out and saying Arsenal have offered a contract to England winger Noni Madueke after Chelsea have completed the deal to sign Joao Pedro. Talk to me, guys. Noni Madueke.
I won't say it's bullshit because I don't want to ruin the illusion with other clubs. If Real Madrid are seeing this and we can pivot away, I'll let them keep dreaming about it. But Noni Madueke to Arsenal ain't happening, man. Let's just be absolutely real for a moment. There's something called negotiations. If you put your hand out there and you're desperate for this one player, guess what's going to happen? The price goes up. But if you know you can pivot to other signings, you can go bring other players in, then guess what? It doesn't really matter because then you can negotiate the deals. You're in a stronger place because you've got other players that you can leverage onto the table. For me, Noni Madueke ain't happening. The only scenario I accept a Noni Madueke coming in is if it's as a backup, as an additional signing after everything else is done.
Yeah.
If it's an addition to like the the left winger coming in a Rodrygo or a Nico Williams or whoever of that kind of caliber, a Gyökeres or a Sesko coming in, and then Madueke also comes in, I ain't gonna be too mad at that because at the end of the day, that's another a winger option to maybe be back up to Saka or whatever the case may be. That's fine, but in reality, this is just a negotiation tactic for me.
I don't need Madueke at Arsenal, man. Like, this is a Chelsea signing too far, in my opinion. I think he's a talented player, and he's definitely like done well at PSV. But if I just don't see it working out at Arsenal because of the way he is, and he's not had that much game-winning moments. He's only had like one of the two brilliant games where he stood out for me. He's not as rapid as like some of the other wingers we've been linked with. He's not played at the top level, although he's playing Premier League football. It's a miss. It's a miss for me. Like, yeah, he could be a backup to Saka and whatnot, and he could play out wide, and he could do a couple of skill moves. There's so much better on the market available than him, even as a squad player. Do you know what I mean?
It'd have to be like 30 million for me to be like, fair enough.
Yeah,
You know what?
and even then, that's unrealistic because they spent 40 to get him, and he won't.
That's what I mean. That's why I don't want him. Like, yeah, like if it's some stupidly cheap like a Kepa deal, I'm fine.
Anybody here semi understand the Madueke deal? Because I still don't.
No.
African Gooder?
Yeah, I do a little bit, to be honest.
Explain.
I think, well, firstly, we were linked with him before in January, so it's not like this is new interest. Like, we've already been interested in him before. Also, like, I think he'd be willing to be like Saka's backup, and also know that he has a chance to start at left
think he
wing
would.
if he's good enough, right? So, and I mean, yeah, I think 50 million is definitely overrated, but at the same time, like, I don't take the rumors too concretely, right? Like, if you're seeing that Arsenal is being linked to at least 7 or 8 different wingers, and that's just part of our strategy, right? Which we're doing with Sesko and Gyökeres as well, where we're leveraging and we are basically trying to understand what the terms and what the packages and the details and the financials will look like for every single one of these deals. And that's why in the media you're seeing it being reported that we are linked with all of these deals, we're agreeing personal terms with all these players, right? Like, that is just part of the process. And when we started this conversation, I said that I was feeling like, you know, it was kind of refreshing, and that's what I mean, you know, like, this is what like moving like a big club, in my opinion, feels like and should look like. And as an Arsenal fan, I've never had this, right? Like, growing up, I've always wanted you know, us to be buying the best players, the most expensive players, us buying the top like signings, the world-class players, the Mbappe, the Neymar. Like, we've never been that guy. We've always been, oh yeah, okay, we can get an Alexis that nobody wants and we can make him shine. We've never really gotten a player kind of apart from Declan Rice, right? So we don't do that enough, and like seeing someone.
Then again,
like
Declan Rice is a player coming from a team worse than us.
Sorry.
Declan Rice is a player coming from a team worse than us. It's almost like
true, exactly. It's not coming. You're right. Exactly. It's not even coming from a Madrid or a PSG, for example, right? That are at the top of their game. So seeing Berta do this negotiations with so many different players is like, it's awesome because it puts us in a good position not to overspend on anyone, right? Because we can at any second turn around and say, well, this guy wants to come to us and this guy wants to come to us, and this is the deal that we have there, right? So we can always leverage any of those deals to get us the one that we want. And it's kind of like everyone is on their knees for us, right? He's like basically has this mentality that yes, Arsenal's a top club, yes, we're at the top of the food chain, and yes, we are attracting the best of the best players now, but at the same time they're now willing to wait and decline other teams to come to us. That is not something that we are used to as Arsenal fans, you know, if we're going to be honest about ourselves. So,
no, but this is what happens when you start challenging. People see you as a possible destination where they can win more trophies.
100%. We're an attractive club where players think they can come. They want to be playing with the best of the best, aka Saka, Gabriel, Saliba, and they know they're going to compete in the Champions League until the semi and the Premier League all the way, right? Like any player.
Yeah, look at this. You got people in Toronto saying we'll send for him. Don't worry, man. Don't worry about people who are haters, man. We don't worry about haters.
Yeah, we don't pay attention to haters, man.
Yeah, we're not worried about haters. Shout out to you.
Yeah, you know, in terms of last point, sorry, on the Madueke thing, I think like we're so scarred on our previous history with Chelsea, which I totally agree with.
We're gonna sign another Chelsea player next year.
It's kind of like my perspective on Thomas Partey. Like, it was just better to get rid of him and like move on from him, even though he actually was so, you know what I mean? The quality is quite obviously there and we're lacking.
Oh, you're gonna piss off Dylan.
With Madueke, it's the same thing, right? Like, I wouldn't take it too seriously for now.
Hey, Dylan, what you saying?
What about Madueke?
Yeah. You couldn't care less about him.
What's that to say, really? Honestly, not much. I think, like mentioned before, if Rodrygo's already done and Eze's done, and we've got our striker, cool, couldn't care less. But at the end of the day, Arteta obviously believes Chelsea haven't had great managers. So who's Madueke played under? He's played under Pochettino. He's played under like Maresca. These aren't great managers. These aren't top managers. I think Mikel Arteta is very good at making players, getting the best out of players. I think he's very good at that.
Not attackers, but I would give you the rest.
If he believes that he is that guy, then
yeah, of course.
At the end of the day, the way I'm looking at this season, right? The way I'm looking at signings and the way I'm looking at the season is, it's quite obviously his last chance. So if he believes that's, then do you?
Yeah.
But I obviously have my preference. I'd rather we get Rodrygo. But if he believes that Madueke is the guy that's going to win us a league, then you do that. But as long as you're aware that this is your last chance, that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Yes. No, go ahead.
All right. Enough about Madueke. Now let's talk about the fun signings. Eze. Guys, reports are Eze might be dusted. It might happen. What we say?
I think he'll be go by Saturday. That's my prediction.
By Saturday.
I'm also
my
very
prediction,
positive.
because you got
Reportedly, he's coming back to England.
Eze's already set on joining us, and it's just a release clause, and it's such an easy release clause. It's just 20 million, 3 installments of 20 million.
Is that our number 10?
Yeah.
You know what?
100%.
I think he comes in as just depth for the wing and the number 10 position and the left 8 position. But
No,
at
I
the
mean
same
the
time,
number 10 shirt is
Yes.
available.
Oh, yeah, possibly.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, probably.
Who else is going to take it? Like the last person
Rodrygo,
that
I
had
think
it is
so.
Emil Smith Rowe. I'd rather give Rodrygo or the striker.
Yeah, I
but
think so too. I'd rather
Eze is a born 10 for me. Like he's an
Rodrygo can
attacking
take number
player.
20.
No, why would you pick number 20? That has no significance whatsoever.
He
It's a
could
good
make
one.
us
11,
significant.
10, I mean, whatever, like
Oh,
9,
that is still
14.
Number 7's
I
available.
wouldn't be surprised.
No, Saka, bro.
Yeah.
Saka 6, no?
No.
No, 7. Look.
Oh my god. Sorry?
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Oh, just making sure. He just, as long as you're joking at that.
You guys don't see me sticking my tongue out? No, forget it. Okay. Anyways, continue. Hello? Everyone's just going to go quiet.
Oh, sorry, who was speaking?
Yeah, your joke didn't bang. On to the next topic, dude.
Yeah, you know, sometimes when I
speaking?
say bad jokes, these guys just go mad. Anyways, what are you saying, African Guru? Talk to me.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say in response to Dylan, what Dylan was saying. No, I totally agree. Like, part of me is not getting frustrated and emotional and angry about what I'm seeing and etc. Like you said, like I also believe that this should be the last season, and he knows that, and he's banking his money on like, I'm gonna get the players that I've always wanted, and I'm gonna show you guys why I waited, right? Like, he's very egotistical, he's stubborn, which is a great thing, and he's a control freak. So like, it can go, it's like two polar ways for me. Like, either like you're a great leader and everyone respects you and follows you and you achieve your goals, or you lose faith of your followers, you lose faith of your players, and then it crashes and burns like a flame.
Exactly.
So that's where I'm at. Like you said, Dylan, like he has to prove himself. Like, I wouldn't say that he choose Eze over Rodrygo. I think it's just going to depend on what we can do, and also depends on what Rodrygo decides, right? Literally, like, you're seeing all these rumors about wingers, but the winger signing is not going to happen until like maybe end of July, beginning of August, if that. It might even be second week of August.
I do understand they've got to get back to the Club World Cup, don't they? So obviously there is that.
Do you guys honestly believe we can get both Eze and Rodrygo?
Well, Ornstein's already said that Arsenal have a plan to get a 10 and a winger.
Yeah, but they also
But
said
does that mean we're going to spend it on Madueke and
Martinelli to buy someone today? So like, you know what I mean?
Okay, so
like,
if we get rid of Martinelli, the number 11 can go to what's it called, Rodrygo.
It could, yes. But I don't. We're not.
Would you guys want to sell Martinelli? That's another question.
No, we're not going to sell Martinelli.
If a 40-50 million came along, 100%.
No, man, 40-50 million is not enough.
If it meant
70 million.
If selling Martinelli was the only way we could get Eze and Rodrygo this window plus a striker, would you not do it?
100%.
Yeah. Dude, I'm a huge Martinelli fan, and I even have to agree. Like, that hurts me to say that. I have to agree with it.
I like Martinelli, and I've heard that the squad like Martinelli, but I think it's a massive elephant in the room in the fan base and the team that he stinks.
I was also always thinking that I rather prefer to sell Trossard.
180K is a problem.
Sorry?
His wages is a problem.
Yeah, but in terms of like between who we sell, right? I was always saying that we should sell Trossard, but I just realized that Trossard can't get us the money that Martinelli can.
1 year left.
We have to sell Martinelli to get the money so we could get the signings that you're saying, right? Like the three as they
last show, me and Souls had an argument that Rodrygo and Martinelli's statistics in the league are not that far apart.
No, they're not. But Rodrygo's done it in the big.
People took that completely the wrong way, because I wasn't even saying. I'm just saying, if you look at stats alone, you can skew any picture. Rodrygo's of course a better player, but people love to use the stat argument, so that's the only reason I did it.
I mean, the thing is with Martinelli for me is that he's been at the club. He's the last player to come in that was part of Emery from right, and he's not got better and better and better and better and better. Like, it feels like we've reached a peak with him, and then it's just de-escalated. And when you have a player for so long that's been inconsistent in a few of the seasons, it's hard for me to keep on defending him, wanting to keep him. I genuinely feel like if a big of 70 million comes in for him, I'm taking it. Highest transfer fee Arsenal have ever received for a player, and it helps us get the striker, the left winger, and in case a few other positions, it will get us that over the line. Martinelli isn't consistent enough to get 12, 13, 14, 15 goals in the league, yet we need 20 from each of our players to do that.
My
I feel that's just-
only issue is getting rid of Martinelli to bring Rodrygo in kills any transitional players that we have. And in certain scenarios, in certain games, we're going to need that. Bringing Rodrygo and Trossard as your options is just the same thing. Obviously, Rodrygo's just a very, very, very better player, but you then lose the transitional pace off the bench. Then a Noni Madueke actually makes a lot of sense, because you still need someone to come in and who has that pace that can kill a game. Like in certain games when you're trying to chase it, or you want to counter, or you want to play in a different style, we just won't have the place to be able to do that. And that's kind of where my concern is. If you let Martinelli go, you bring an Eze in and you bring a Rodrygo in, you've killed the pace in your team, because Saka isn't the quickest. He's quick, but he ain't electric. He ain't a Martinelli.
No, he's not.
And then my other issue is that you're going to have a Gyökeres or a Sesko who can do that, but they're already on the pitch and they clearly weren't working. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I wouldn't get rid of Martinelli if it's for that reason.
Do you guys see the vision, though, to bring in both Eze and Rodrygo, or do you think it's just a pipe dream?
A bit of both. Nah, it makes logical sense. But we never ever get all of our transfer targets in one window.
But maybe Berta getting Norgard and Kepa might be the difference. Okay, let's play a game. Everybody here, give me your odds of Arsenal getting both Eze and Rodrygo right now. What do you think the odds are?
3-1, 2-1.
Oh, you're saying what? 3-1?
2 or 3-1.
So you're giving us like a 33% chance or something like that.
40.
Yeah, I say 40% as well. To be honest, I don't see it. We're saying Eze,
Rodrygo, and a striker coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I'm gonna say 70%.
Eze, Rodrygo, and a striker.
Yeah, I'll give us 70%.
Let me paint the picture even more. What do you call it? Le African Gunner. What if we get Eze, Rodrygo, and we end up with Ollie Watkins? Forget about Sesko and Gyökeres.
Yeah,
how would you feel?
Not so bad, to be honest. I know it's not like.
1 second. Let me introduce another panelist. D in the building. Big up from Fanzone TV. In case you guys haven't met him before, shout out to my brother D. Big up. We're just talking about Rodrygo, Eze, and potentially a striker, but the striker potentially being Ollie Watkins. And I was just talking to my boy Le African Gunner. Let me put up the name so you can get to know.
Man, you gotta put a damper on things, don't you?
No, but we have to talk about the topics that are being discussed today. I seen the report just before I came on here that Arsenal, if Arsenal sign Ollie Watkins, it could be a possibility. And this is the report from African Gunner. You could break it down because I'm pretty sure you've seen the report too. Today, it was told Arsenal spoke to Ollie Watkins again and should hold fire on any deal. He would be third choice, but first two look difficult, and it's not third choice. Miles away. Ollie Watkins is an Arsenal fan and would love to play for them.
Yeah, so I mean, we all know that we've been linked with Watkins for a long time now, right? So from what I understand is that other clubs are making proposals to him and Aston Villa because they needed to sell, but he doesn't want to go anywhere and he wants to come to Arsenal like he did in January, and he was upset that he couldn't get his move in January. And also he's willing to be a bit part player. Like he's willing to be that guy who comes off the bench, etc., is used sparingly. That's how badly he wants to move. Again, right? Like showing, and that's like us flexing our muscles. Like all these players are just like willing to really just do anything to come to us, right? That's only a positive sign in my eyes, right, of where we are as a club. So yeah, I mean, in terms of the Watkins thing, I really think it depends on what happens with the Sesko deal, what happens with the Rodrygo deal, and then we'll figure out Watkins. I don't think it's going to be like Watkins is our priority and we sign him.
Would you be happy with him? That's the question.
Yeah, if we get Rodrygo, we get Sesko, or we get Eze, and we get him, then yeah, why not? I mean, that's 2 out of the 3 are at least they're certified bangers in my opinion. So, that's good enough. We can't expect just 10 out of 10 signings in each position, right? Considering how many positions we have to fill. So,
I mean, to play devil's advocate, a lot of fans need to be happy because they kept telling me they need to get a proven striker. They need a proven striker. I mean, Ollie Watkins is that.
yeah.
Especially when you hear the arguments that they don't want a Sesko because of this, and this reason. I mean, you can't really cry about Ollie Watkins. I mean, for me, the only reason I don't want him is I find him to be too much of a purple patch player. Like, he's a brilliant player on his day. But the issue is him, the likes of Son, the likes of Rashford, the likes of... It's just, is that their day? Is the day that we need them to turn up, is that going to be their day? And that's the kind of where my issue with Ollie Watkins is that I just don't find it to be consistent. Like, yes, he gets a good number of goals, but if you go back and look at it, he goes through patches of not great scoring form. Like, he'll go a few games without scoring, and then why is it that the most important period of Aston Villa, like Unai Emery, yes, he can be a dumb manager at times, but he will never sacrifice a European Cup. Why didn't he really utilize Ollie Watkins?
Yeah,
Because there was an element of trust or something. Like, so for me,
or he was injured. We don't know everything. We don't know, right?
All right, so we got two people saying
like for about 10 minutes. So
if we get Rodrygo and Eze, would you be okay with Ollie Watkins?
I was 100%. I would be 100%.
All right.
You need. I think Watkins is quite proven.
I actually would, because I think regardless, I've always said, and I've always stuck by that. I think Arteta's system works better with a false nine, and I genuinely think the false nine game only works if you have. So we played our best football attacking wise in 22-23, I think, or maybe the last season. Not this one's just finished.
No, the Jesus season first.
We had Havertz or Jesus in the false nine, and the wingers were providing. In last season before the match was finished, Trossard provided second half of the season.
Yeah,
and Martinelli
fully
was chipping in at the start of the season. It was working. The year before that, Martinelli had his best ever season, and obviously Saka. So yeah, when we have a false nine creating for them, so that the wingers can supply the goals, and then the false nine just chips in here and there, I'm all for that. So I'm all for having Havertz in the false nine if we still have Rodrygo. I'm all for signing no striker if we have Rodrygo, Saka, and then all of these players.
Okay, you may be going a little too far.
Don't know about Havertz is a baller.
All right, let's ask my brother.
Havertz is not a baller. Havertz is not a baller, but
he's a baller. Certified baller.
One second. Just talk to me. What are you saying?
I think the only issue with the Watkins signing at this point now is that it's probably a little bit too late for where we want to go right now.
Yeah,
I think if we had Watkins,
I agree.
I think if we had Watkins for the last 3 years, I think we would have won the league at least once. That's what I genuinely believe if we had Watkins up front. But I think right now, I think it's just a little bit too late for us to sign Watkins at this point. I don't agree with the whole no striker thing. I think the striker is the only thing we need, let alone no striker.
Yeah.
Going for a left winger and a right winger and no striker, we'll be in the same position. I don't think we need. I think we need to make sure we have a striker. I think that's the key point. But Watkins is not a bad player. I don't know how we've got to a point where being linked to Watkins is a bad thing. He's a player that scores 15 to 20 goals every year.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the only difference is now he's 29 years old and he hasn't been he's not a poor player. He's a player that's going to score us at least 15 to 20 goals guaranteed if he plays at our club. And he doesn't take penalties either. He's not a penalty taker either. So that's what it is. He scores 15, 20 goals without penalties. So
you know what my problem is though is why did they for the sake of what, maybe 20 million, 10 million pounds, when we could have done with them in January to maybe get the Champions League over the line. Like, for me, that's when it becomes bad planning, because I'm like, I understand market opportunities in terms of Rodrygo have come up. Obviously, we were trying to pursue the Nico Williams deal, but that's kind of gone into Barcelona, half the money for him, or whatever the case is happening over there. But for me, it's like, it just pisses me off when you do this. Like, and by the way, I'm for the project. I love Andrea Berta and stuff like that. But for the sake of £10 million, where we could have given ourselves a bit of a push in the Champions League, it kind of just pisses me off. And that's probably why I'm against the signing a bit more than actually the players poor. It's just how piss poor the planning's been.
That's what annoys me about Arsenal is that like Watkins was there. Watkins wanted to leave. Aston Villa needed to sell. They had just signed on loan 2 very experienced players in Rashford and Asensio. Watkins comes off the bench against PSG in the second leg, where he could have been a starter for them. this is a guy that would have got us at least 10 goals in 20 games for Arsenal. You'd have had a better record than Marino. And even then, in transitions, you were saying earlier, Watkins was good at that. Watkins in big moments can deliver and score goals. We forget that he's the goal scorer that got England to the final just this last year. Even coming off the bench, he could still make an impact. And people that are saying that he's not good enough for Arsenal, I think you're telling me he's not good value for money. It's 35 million pounds to be available at 29 years old in the peak of his career.
Sorry to cut you as well. You're spot on. But one thing as well that we forget is every time we play Aston Villa, he scores.
Exactly. He does the job on Arsenal.
Every single time he plays against us, he scores against us every single time. So that shows me that he can compete with the best centre backs in Europe. Yeah. That's what it shows me. That's what I go on.
And he's a striker that thinks about net only and goal for goal.
This is why I don't think the club will sign Ollie Watkins. They dragged their feet in January.
Yeah, I agree.
Number one. Number two, they keep talking about age with Sesko. The fact that they keep mentioning Sesko's age and the fact that he's potential return on investment over many years, I don't see the return on investment with Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, but at the same time, you look at return on investment on age.
Watkins is 30, no?
29.
He's turning
29 years old. You're going to get, regardless of if you get a return on investment or not, that shouldn't be the priority of Arsenal Football Club if we can make a profit on him. We saw.
No, it's not about making a profit on him. It's about the price.
I just realised he's 27, but he's just turned 27. We need to be buying him now.
Exactly.
We need to be winning trophies now. We're not thinking about selling prices. If that's what you're saying, Igor, with the money coming in or money coming out. No, Watkins is there for you now when he's 30, when he's 31, even when he's 32. This guy could get you an average of 15 goals in a Premier League season where we're going to be creating a lot more chances than Aston Villa.
No, but we also have to realize, we also have to realize being a big fish in a small pond or being a normal sized fish in a big pond is two different things, bro.
Yeah.
If you take Ollie Watkins out of Aston Villa and you slap him in any top team, doesn't guarantee that he's going to replicate the numbers.
We're going to create more chances for him to bury those chances. Trossard was a big fish in a small Brighton side. He was bagging in hat-tricks for Brighton, against Liverpool.
Boys. Ollie Watkins' ship has sailed. It's sailed, boys.
Ollie Watkins' ship is gone, bro.
It's gone. If we were going to sign him, we should have signed him 2 summers ago. 2 summers ago.
Yeah, but if that's the last resort, then we've got to at least get a striker in. If it's last resort, we can't not have a striker.
But if you get
a striker, we're going to get either Gyokeres or Sesko. We're going to have one of them.
Yeah, but I
would rather Watkins over Sesko though.
Let's play this scenario out though, right? But if you have a Rodrygo and Eze, the Eze is as good as of a signing as a Gyokeres for me as a striker, right? Because I wasn't even expecting for us to get a cam, which is why I'm willing to sacrifice and say, hey, you know what? Watkins, Jesus, Havertz, Martinelli can play striker, but Trossard can play striker. Like,
I'm
not saying that that's what I want. I'm saying that if we're saying that this scenario is playing out,
goals, Watkins, that's 30 goals. Or would you rather have one guy that gets 30 goals in a season, and then you have to rely on him all the time when the pressure's on him?
Bro, your mic is moving mad.
15 goals a season for Arsenal.
Yeah,
you can't do that. It's moving mad. It sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher.
Sorry, but I'm just saying. We scored 91 goals.
Bro, find a way to fix your mic. It's a mad thing. Maybe stand back. It's better when you stand back.
No, but just disconnect it and reconnect.
No, it's better when you stand back. Just don't come too close to the camera.
Oh, my bad. But what I was saying is, with the season that gone with when we was wearing white shorts and white socks with Havertz up front, we was getting 90 goals because everybody was contributing. The left winger, be it Martinelli or Cross, was contributing. Saka contributing. Havertz or Jesus, when he was available, contributing. Rice was contributing. Last season, who got 10 goals for Arsenal?
No, but that's down to injuries. That's down to a lot of things.
Yes, that's why you need not just
last season. Outlier.
Everywhere freaking available so they can contribute all those goals.
Last season was an outlier. It's not the rule. And I don't think it's normal for Arsenal to have those many players in attacking third go
You got to be
injured.
prepared just in case, Iga, when we wasn't last season. And the previous seasons, we were not prepared for that. You're not guaranteed to have everybody fit all season, so you need to be covered. We need
I
to have
agree.
25
That's why
players
we're buying
able-
squad depth. But before we go any
Exactly, this is
further,
good.
let's talk about this. We
Sorry,
have
I'm sorry.
Havertz. We still have Havertz. Who do you guys think the club's going to sign? Because at this point, I'm sick and tired of we've agreed a deal with this club. We're not negotiating with this club. The latest, if I'm not mistaken, you can disagree. You can educate me on this, African Gunner. But last thing I heard is Sesko's price. Leipzig is not budging, and Gyökeres broke up with his girl. He wants to leave Portugal.
Yeah, we knew that already. Though.
Gyökeres broke up
Was
with
that
his
a true
girl.
thing? Or was that a real thing?
Yeah.
So
He broke up with his
basically-
girlfriend. He told Sporting, "I will never kick a ball for you guys again." And the president of Sporting came out and said he will not leave for 60 million plus 10 million add-ons. That we've not agreed on this. And apparently his agent says that he has a 10% kicker if they don't accept a bid of 70 million. And there's so much drama with Gyökeres to the point where he broke up with his girl. Where Sesko's apparently agents came out and said, we're not forcing no move. We're going to keep it classy. If you want us, you have to pay the price. And they've debunked all the rumors about release clauses and all this stuff. And Ollie Watkins just chilling. Ollie Watkins just chilling in Birmingham saying, I'm an Arsenal fan. I want to play for you guys. So
yeah, so
that's
in
the
terms
situation
of the girlfriend stuff, right? So actually what happened was a month ago, Gyokeres' girlfriend told him that basically he needs to stay in Portugal, right? And not to move to England. And obviously he made that decision now that he's leaving. He's not playing. He's not staying in Portugal. So he just cut it off. It's like when Calafiori was with that girl right before he moved to Arsenal. Same shit. You just cut that off. And, they move on. Huh?
Now this guy said he knows you, Dylan. He
I do. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, I do.
So yeah, and in terms of
so why are you laughing? So why you find that so funny?
No, that's such a mental throwback. Like, oh my god. It's been a good 9 years.
In terms of the Sesko Gyokeres stuff, I think it's moving slower than I would like. In terms of Gyokeres, it's very obvious. We signed a 5-year, contract with him, personal terms. That was like way long ago, like happened very early on days. Then he has basically told everybody else, Man United, Juventus, whoever it is, that I'm waiting for Arsenal to make the decision. Arsenal have told him and Sesko, so they went and told Gyökeres that basically, hey, we want to sign. Sesko is our priority, but we still want to consider you. If the deal doesn't go through, then we'll come back and we can agree this deal. And he's obviously accepted those terms and said, you know what, I'm still willing to wait, and because you're the club that my dreams. I want to play for you guys. I love the project, blah blah. You know the whole thing, right? So now we're going with Sesko in terms of the fact that RB Leipzig need money, they need to sell, and they had a gentleman's agreement. From what I understand, is that there's different players at play here, right? Jurgen Klopp is there. Andrea Berta is there, and basically the negotiations and the conditions of the deal that was agreed last year, has changed because now there's different players, similar to what we were hearing about Gyokeres and the sporting director or whatever changing, right? So those gentleman agreement does not stand anymore. It's kind of a similar thing here, right? So now they're asking for a little bit more money. They're saying, if Hugo Ekitike can go for 100 million, then right, we want more money, right? And that's the same thing that's the same stance that Sporting Lisbon is taking with Gyökeres, saying, no, we don't give a crap about 60 million. This guy's worth way more than that. We don't care what gentleman agreement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the rumors about the 10% thing for his agent, no idea if that's true. I think, if we see a bid, we'll definitely understand to see if that's true. But I would reiterate that, like, all the stuff that you see from Portuguese media, even something like CNN Portugal, right? You would think CNN is reputable. They were talking about bids for Gyökeres. They've talked about 3 bids, and we haven't seen any bid. None of those have been real, right? So, yeah, I think people should just stay calm. We know that Arteta wants to sign a striker before we leave on May 19th. So let's give it, like, this week, nothing is going to happen, in my opinion. But next week, hopefully, we get some Ornstein Bomba on a bid.
Yeah. It's been a while, man. We could have got one of them last season, man. Because
we were
never interested in Gyökeres last season. I mean, most people don't know this, but David Ornstein said in December, just gone by in January, he said that Arsenal have zero interest in Viktor Gyokeres, and Viktor Gyokeres has zero interest in Arsenal. This interest with Gyokeres only came about because of Andrea Berta, which is why I was always confident that Sesko was going to be the guy, because it was very obvious to me that like that is exactly what we waited for. We didn't pull the trigger in Jan. We didn't do anything creative. We didn't loan anyone, So it was very clear to me that Sesko was going to be that guy, unless for whatever reason, Leipzig are going to haggle, right? And then you add the Instagram stuff and all the other research that I've done, and you put the picture together, and it's quite very clear what's
No, but let's be honest. Arsenal wants Sesko. Sesko is the most expensive out of the three. Ollie Watkins. Watkins wants. Wants. Let me just break it down.
Hold on.
Ollie Watkins wants Arsenal. He's the cheapest out of the three. Sesko is wanted by Arsenal, but he's the most expensive out of the three.
How? Why are you saying he's the most expensive out of the three?
Because Gyokeres is clearly cheaper.
No, he's not. He's not. We don't even know, right? So that's what you were saying, Miguel. There's politics between Gyokeres and the club, so they don't actually even know. They haven't even agreed themselves on what price that's going to be. They just know that he wants to leave at all costs. And that thing could, like you said, it's just a shitstorm. It could go on for weeks before they even figure out what the hell they want to do. And we could be far gone and signed Sesko and moved on, right? Like going for Rodrygo. So,
I'm just sick of this cycle. We will find out.
Negotiations at the top level of any football club.
No,
who was the guy that was on stream? Who was the guy that was on
usually, bro, you don't wake up. Usually, you don't wake up to hear fake news about a signing for a deal with Gyökeres, and then
bro, we get linked for players for months before we sign them. We get linked for players with years.
It's true.
I've never seen a transfer window where we're linked to two players in the same position, and in the morning it sounds like we're gonna get Gyökeres, and at night it sounds like we're gonna get Sesko.
Bro, that happens literally.
Genuinely, bro,
I've never seen it like this. This is literally playing.
Someone said they saw him in like bloody some shop or something. Someone said they saw Berta in a shop and said one Arsenal.
Yeah, that was Christian. I posted on Twitter.
I believe that. You don't believe that. I genuinely believe that. Who would lie about
that? That guy pulled his pants down, man. He made pulled his pants down with that.
You believe Berta dapping up somebody in an Italian restaurant?
That's such a weird thing to lie about.
It is a weird thing. It is a weird thing.
No, he's not lying, but over exaggerating it, I think.
Okay, maybe Berta was just being nice. But African Gunner, my thing is, I am tired of the constant misinformation
can I tell you something?
Players' agents and
100%.
everything else.
You know how the world has moved on, right? How people like, for example, speed and content creation and how the power is moved. Like things have shifted in the world, right? So I believe that every transfer window, as we move forward and as we grow and as we progress and evolve, this is going to get even worse. Because think about this, guys. When we were younger, we didn't even get half of this information, and now we have access to all this information that we can announce transfers. I can do all these things before the club, before this, before that. Like, right? So you can clearly see that sometimes, this is gonna be at play. And again, like this has been very different in terms of like the gentleman agreements and this and that, and also the strategy, right? We've never seen this before because we've never had the balls to do this before. We've never had the strategy to go for two big top dogs and leverage them against each other and then just walk out with the better deal. Like we've never done that. So of course you're gonna be upset and frustrated seeing all this crap because we're emotionally invested. We've been waiting for a strike for 3-4 years. We made bad investment that we believe that we've made, right? We still have Jesus and etc. So we want to just get this over with and we want to move on with our lives, right? It's
do you guys trust the process? Do you trust Berta's process?
Well, I do, because clearly he's shown that he's capable.
The censored words, don't even trust the stop. The process.
No, do you trust Berta doing business in the manner that he's doing right now?
But is he proving himself? Is anybody complaining? Do you see?
I think early signs, Berta has shown the ability to pivot. And to move quick when needed be. So I like it.
There's one thing moving quick when you're taking a 31-year-old off Brentford and a 5 million goalkeeper off Bournemouth. But getting proper deals done, I wouldn't say we've moved quick. I think if Eze gets done, you could say that. But getting Norgard and Kepa done and Zubimendi has taken.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Zubimendi's taken 7 months.
We're not exactly moving. We're not exactly fast paced, are we? We're not exactly. Like
Zubimendi was done 7 months ago, and we still haven't announced him.
All right, I want to know.
Liverpool spent 150 million or 116 on
I know the top 2 guys next to me with African Gunner and what do you call it? Souls want Sesko at Arsenal, but who do you guys want at the bottom?
Gyökeres, man,
Gyökeres.
easily. That's an easy
100%.
decision. I like players that do what they're meant to
Honest,
do.
from
I'm
a footballer
impartial
is telling
to
you it's
either.
Gyökeres. From a man who's played for Arsenal telling you it's Gyökeres, for me it has to be Gyökeres.
I hear that. I'm impartial.
And for me, it's not like one or the either. I hate that we try to make this divide because let's be honest, we'll take either of them. They're both
No, I
good.
won't. I won't. I
Yeah.
won't. I don't want Sesko.
I mean, you know, he's gonna be. And what Dylan said, right? Like, if Arteta believes it's him, let's see.
No,
Like, he doesn't have
let's
a
not.
choice.
Sometimes
He
Arteta
believed,
can be
no,
wrong.
no. He believed it was Havertz. How did that work out?
And how did that work? We were 1 point away from winning the league, and everyone has a
No,
completely
we
different
didn't win
opinion
it
on
though. We
Havertz.
didn't win it though.
But come on, like,
I
how is
agree
that
with you.
rational, bro?
Highest points tennis in 20 years. I can't lie. I agree with Laguna. I can't.
No. You can't agree. You can't agree with it because the reason why you can't agree with it
It's
is because
improvement year on year out.
if we had instead of
man.
Havertz, if we had Gyökeres, we would have won the league.
No, that's not
No.
true. Because
That-
Gyökeres
oh.
would not have been able to combine and assist and have the chemistry that Havertz has, which is why I like Sesko, because he clearly is a similar type as Havertz, but he's better. He's better finishing, better versatility, better like everything.
So
Right?
so what do you think? All right, fine. So that's cool. That's
Yeah.
what you believe. So what do you think happens if Sesko or Gyökeres comes? Where do you think Havertz plays?
I think Havertz
still
either.
believe we're on the
So
same.
this is what I believe. I believe that Havertz is going to start the season, right? I think he's going to start the season for the first 3-4 weeks while Sesko embeds in. Sesko will get game time, 60th minute. Arteta will bring Sesko in, and then they're going to fight it out. And there's going to be a battle for whoever wants to take the shirt, whoever wants to take that starting spot. You take it, and that's extremely healthy competition.
No, you're wrong.
That's
You're
what we're
wrong. You're
crying
wrong.
out for.
No, you're wrong. I'll tell you why.
How?
I'll tell you why you're wrong because Havertz is on 285 a week, which is stopping us signing
Bro,
the
who
players.
cares how much wages he's
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what. Havertz is on 285 a week, which for 285 a week, that is supposed to be a signing like Gyökeres or like the top strikers in world football.
Yeah, I don't.
So what you're saying, he helped our team progress and stuff like that. I understand that he did that, but now the point we're at right now is the point to now improve on Havertz. Havertz is a good player. It's not a terrible player.
I agree with you, but there's a
you're
difference between what I want and what I think is going to happen, right?
Okay.
I hear you. I want
Going forward, do we have an issue
but I
with
see
Havertz
Sesko and I
wages?
see the plan that Arteta has and why he wants to use him.
Going
And
forward,
also,
do we not
it
have an
also
issue, though?
matters who you sign at left wing. It's not all about the striker, man. If you
One
get
second.
Rodrygo
Yeah.
and Sesko, that is top.
Do
I'm
you not
complaining.
think we have an issue with Havertz being on 280 a week, potentially not starting on a week-to-week basis?
Yeah, you will have to be sold this season.
It's not as bad as Ozil. It's not as bad as when Alexis Sanchez was thinking up the gaff. It wasn't as bad as like some of the other.
As
things.
who? Sanchez.
No, like when he went to United, before he went to United, like that bit there where he was just falling off and he
I'm not
was-
gonna lie to you guys. I think
I
Havertz
agree.
has
No,
broken
I
our
mean
wage
that 6-month
structure.
period.
Havertz has broken our wage structure, and he's gonna cause guys like Saliba asking for 300k a week.
Nah, but they were
They'll
gonna
They'll
always
be
ask
asking
for
for that
that.
anyways, man. They'll be asking for
Exactly.
pay
Let me say one thing here. Do you know, that we signed Havertz? He's on 285 a week. You know, we've just let go of one of our best players in Partey, who wants 250 a week.
But he's 32.
But there's
But does that make sense to you? We've let go of one of our best.
That
makes sense. That makes
It makes sense when you're 32 years old and you're not getting much
makes sense, right? So there's
2.0. We're avoiding another Ozil 2.0 for him to decline. Like Aubameyang, when we gave him a new contract for him to decline.
Bro, there was no guarantee Thomas Partey is going to perform the same level next season.
And
there's no
only
guarantee.
that,
Even
not
then,
he has to deserve it.
What's
like,
happening?
don't get me wrong.
What's going on?
Dylan, I know.
The guy barely ran back. The guy barely ran back.
And
Of course he wasn't going to get injured.
Wait, what's going on here? I'm trying to figure out. Obviously, I can't hear what everyone's saying. I'm trying to figure out.
The club made the right decision to not risk putting a player at the age of his age with the injury history on the second highest wages.
He's not been injured. How many times have I told you?
Okay.
You believe Partey should have left?
2 out of 4 years.
Yeah.
2 out of 4 years.
Partey's our best player. He's one of our best players.
Guys, stop. Partey got offered the same wages.
He
Yeah,
said no.
rejected that.
He said no. He wants 250. So we should have given it to him.
No,
Simple.
way.
He doesn't
No
have
way.
that.
Oh my
He should not be
goodness.
getting
No,
Not
why
when
should
you
he
signing
just give it to him?
Zubimendi, yeah, and then Rice who's then
Bro,
that's what people ask.
You were just complaining about Kai Havertz. Imagine putting Thomas Partey at his age on 250k a week.
But
And then
Havertz
when
and Partey is far more influential to our team than Havertz is.
He's
No,
not
no,
as
he's not.
influential.
Are you sick? Are you sick?
Look at this, baby.
What do you
Hey,
mean
Dylan,
he's
is it
not?
just
and Gabriel
No, man,
Rice,
you man gas up.
Hey, Dylan, is it just me or is it about
He's
that?
important,
Partey.
he's important, of course. He's important, but he's
Partey is
everyone
far
has
more
their own
important to our
importance in their
team
own
than
way.
Havertz is.
No.
No.
When Havertz was
Nah,
fully fit,
he's
no.
not.
When Havertz was fully fit, we didn't win the league twice. What are you talking
and
about?
and Thomas Partey was
Yeah,
fully
Thomas
fit,
Partey
we
was
didn't win
fit
the
and we
league
had one
twice
of our
either.
worst
Hey,
seasons. Havertz was
Your point is
injured. Havertz was
irrelevant.
injured.
Yeah, but he was
Partey
never the
was
problem.
fit. What
No,
happened?
hold on.
Wait.
How
We
do you
didn't
just
even
compare the
compete.
man who's in midfield and never plays badly to a man
Calm
who's
down.
up front, not scoring
Calm
goals?
down.
No. You just said
how
in
I
the
don't
match.
understand.
No.
Havertz was scoring
Dylan,
goals.
understand the argument. He just said when Havertz was fully fit, what did he do? We competed at least with 1
Yeah,
point behind
exactly.
Partey for the first time
Exactly.
in fit. Guess what? We didn't even compete.
No,
But
we
what are you
didn't.
talking about?
didn't-
Let me
Let me be devil's advocate on this, yeah. With
No, don't play
Partey, right?
devil's advocate. Just say what's wrong.
I'm understanding both sides, right? For me,
Yeah.
I don't rate Partey. I'm glad he did have some good games for Arsenal. I'm not discussing
some
Man
good
City,
games.
even in the first leg against Real Madrid, he done
Nah,
all
he
right.
had a lot of
He
good
done well. There were
games,
games where he
but
done
he
well.
Reap up. There
But
you
for
go.
me, he's
Put
not
the
the
flag
most
back up there,
important
man.
player like Rice. Rice,
What's going
Gabriel,
on there? What's
Saliba,
happening there?
Saka. Those four players are the most important players of Arsenal Football Club. Those are the players
Who
you
are the
would
four
have
players?
of 300 grand a
Who are the
week.
four players?
Say that again. Who?
Beyond that.
upgraded
Let me-
anyway.
Who? What four? What four players?
Who are the four
I
players?
can't hear you. What four players?
Gabriel, Saliba, Rice, and Bukayo Saka. Those four at the moment are the most important players. And even then, David
You
Raya as
can't
well.
dispute
What is
that.
that?
Yeah, but no one's arguing with that. But Partey,
Yeah,
We
but
need 11 players on the pitch. It's
you're
not
just
5
naming.
aside. We need 11.
those
You're
are
just
the
naming.
players that you took the
But
highest
you're just
wages
naming
on.
our best.
Those
You're
are
just
the players
naming.
that deserve it more than
Bro,
him. The
you're just
250.
naming our best players. You're just naming our best
Once
players.
again-
That's
Yeah,
easy
but
to do.
you're saying he's our most important
Guys,
Partey.
Let
no,
me say this. Thomas Partey was offered 200k a week. He rejected it. He said he wanted a 50k raise. Arsenal was not willing to invest 26 million over 2 years on Thomas Partey, who's currently 32. They're basically saying for the last 3 years you've been decent, you've been really good, but we can't guarantee for the next 2 years you're going to be worth.
Yeah. I
200K a
agree
week.
with that. And I would say
when we have Zubimendi on 100k a week, who most likely could be starting ahead of you.
Yeah, I agree
That
with what
is
you're
the
saying.
main
I
reason.
understand the logic. I understand the logic, and I tell you why it's flawed. It's because Partey is worth far more than 13 million a year. That's the point. So would
Yeah.
you pay
No, he's not,
13?
man. He's not.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my
So,
days.
I wouldn't say the risk.
You can't
No,
say
he
why.
ain't. He ain't.
I agree
can't
with
take the
some
risk.
of
If he
what you're
starts to
saying.
actually decide to actually put some effort in a game, the guy's gonna put his
Oh,
hamstring again.
What are you
It's not about
talking
that.
about?
Partey is the 6. Declan Rice was the 8. Declan Rice is nowhere near as good as Partey in the 6, is he?
I
We
mean,
got Zubimendi now.
debatable,
We got
debatable.
Zubimendi
But,
now.
Zubimendi now, but what I'm saying is we've signed Zubimendi and we've lost one of our best players.
Yeah,
It's
we
like
have.
signing
have.
Elise and
But
letting go of
wasn't
Saka.
Zubimendi always signed to be the potential
Nah,
replacement?
Zubimendi is better,
Yes,
man. You
but
guys
the
should
whole
come
point,
to
the whole
realize
point,
this.
the whole point of if you want to
Zubimendi
compete for
was signed to
title,
play with him. Like,
No, he wasn't.
No,
He
he
led
wasn't.
the game with
No, he
Rice.
wasn't.
It's
No, he
clearly
wasn't.
evident he
Stop.
will
The
play
illusion
better
is-
with Rice. It's not
and
even
we've
a
got
far
rid of
thing to...
Jorginho and Partey, and the replacements are Norgard and
Dylan, that's not what happened. That's not what
because
happened.
They bought Zubimendi and then they opened talk.
That's not
to
true.
renew
So
Partey.
basically, what
So the plan
happened
was
is
to
that
have both.
at the beginning of last season, we made the decision that we were going to sell Partey and we were going to keep Jorginho. And then what happened is that Flamengo came, or the Brazilian team came, and basically offered him a 3-year contract with crazy wages and the fact that he could do his badges right there as well, which Arsenal also offered. And it was too good to be true. That is like his native land. So he decided to go back. And when he made that decision, then we turned around and Andrea Berta came and said, okay, well, maybe we need to keep Partey. And then that's when we started having those conversations with him. I agree. with the point that look, we've lost a lot of quality, but I think overall it's just better to just move on from him. Like, I know he's good, he's great, but it was just a situation where we just started to distance ourselves, move on. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we can't replace him, right? Like, Zubimendi's gonna be there.
Got better, man.
1 second, we got a super chat here. Shout out to the super chat. He said, "I ain't even an Arsenal fan, but to say Thomas Partey had some good games is diabolical." He's talking about me there. Laugh out loud. Some of y'all don't deserve nice things. Club shills. What?
Not sure.
I don't know what that means, but he's spot on.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I have been saying Thomas Partey was one of the best DMs a couple years ago. And when people were saying Casemiro, Thomas Partey, Rodrygo, I think he was head and shoulders better than Casemiro, and he was up there with Rodrygo. But he was not better than Rodrygo. Rodri. Now the last year,
European bias as per usual.
The last year and a half,
100%.
the last year and a half, I have felt Thomas Partey has been the most fit he's been in his time at Arsenal, and playing for a contract. Playing for a contract. I've seen him at times play outstanding. I've seen him at times cost us games. Yes. Declan Rice, I never felt like he ever cost us a game. Where Thomas Partey at times had games where he had diabolical performances and he had some stand-up performances. Overall, he was a consistent 7 out of 10 majority of the games, where I felt like he was never a 10 out of 10.
One game out of 3, he was 10 out of 10. One game out of 3, Partey was 10 out of 10.
Where I thought Declan Rice was a game changer, I thought Thomas Partey was just a steady Eddie.
No, part is the reason why Gyökeres Rice can play how he plays. And secondly, do you think our team
was also the reason why?
Not Jorginho. One said, do you not think
allowed him to do
wait, do you think our team has got stronger up to now or weaker up to this point right now?
We haven't made the big signings yet. As of right now,
that's why I said up to this point right now. Are we stronger or weaker up to this point?
At this point, we're
overall.
We're
overall, we're stronger in my opinion. But
stronger?
Yeah, we are in my opinion. Because we've signed players for longevity, right? Partey, if we kept him, he would have only stayed another 1 season, right? So you gotta look.
Partey's 32, Zubimendi's 26.
You keep saying he's 32, but he's still perfectly fine to play in midfield.
Zubimendi's 26.
No, but he gets found out when we're running, right? That's what we're saying.
Zubimendi's 26.
He had one.
Zubimendi's 26 on 100K a week.
Bro, you know there's a compilation.
Got to do with Partey. I don't get it.
Thomas Partey.
Zubimendi's the alternative to Partey.
It's hilarious.
Well, you're just saying stuff, but I can't actually hear what you're saying.
Zubimendi's the replacement for Partey.
But he wasn't meant to be. Partey, the reason why they negotiated his contract,
there was never guaranteed that Thomas Partey was going to sign a new deal.
It was never guaranteed, but they wanted him to sign a new deal. That's why they're still negotiating now.
When Berta came in
at the end, yes. At the end, of course, they wanted him to stay. That's why.
So you don't like Partey then,
bro? If they liked Partey, they would have given him a deal 2 years ago.
Of course, they like Partey.
Yeah, of course.
So why didn't they give him a deal?
They couldn't give him a deal 2 years ago. Stuff was too hot, but it's all done now. Like he can play. They can give him the deal now. It was all done as of last Feb. As of last Feb, it was done. They can give him a deal now, and it's good. It was too hot to give him a deal 2 years ago.
I think Partey ends up at Marseille or Galatasaray. We'll see how things go.
I agree. I mean,
I do. I don't think. I just want to see what happens without him. How we do. Like even when I just can't get.
Yeah, I hear Famzone Adi. I hear what you're saying. I agree with a lot of the comments. But I think, like, personally, it was just rather move on. Like, why? Like, the fact that we're even having these conversations means rather have a clean slate. In my opinion,
do you know why?
He's good, and we're missing that.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But the point is, because you guys said Havertz. Yeah, you don't mind Havertz, and Havertz is not the issue.
No, I never said that, right? Remember, again, there's a big difference between what I want and what I'm expecting to happen. I don't want Havertz to start. Of course not, bro. I want us to sign a striker that's going to come in and displace this guy. Of course.
Zubimendi's not even better than Partey.
Nah, I mean, to be
seen, right? Like, Zubimendi can be better than Partey.
He can be, but we can't make that judgment now.
I can. I've seen Zubimendi play loads of times.
I haven't enough to make that call right now. Because if he's fit every game, right, and he's contributing and he's making assists and he's helping with our dictating our play and increasing the speed that we play at, so we can break down low blocks. I mean, Partey can't do that. His responsibility of making the line.
All right. I'm gonna shift gears. I'm gonna shift gears to this. I'm gonna shift gears to this right here. Arsenal are looking to get Christian Mosquera, a defender from Valencia. He's rejected a new deal with Valencia. He wants Arsenal. What do you call it? Valencia have rejected the first offer from Arsenal. Arsenal want to get this deal done quite quickly. What do you guys think about Arsenal potentially signing another young up-and-coming
just get it
defender?
done if you reckon he's good enough. I couldn't tell you anything about him. Just if he's good enough, get it done.
He's 20 years old and he's highly touted.
So 20 years old, he plays both.
They're talking about Nuno Tavares, mate.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. When I tell you,
but Nuno Tavares was in a team
if he was on a free transfer this summer, Real Madrid would have signed him in 2 seconds.
So from my perspective, he's 20 years old. He plays left center back, right center back. He's really good in the air. He's physical, right? And like you said, like we've
he's aggressive defensively, also like Rudiger.
Yeah, he has comparisons with Rudiger, and he's gonna be 20 years old, right? He knows his place in the team. He knows that he's gonna only be playing as a backup, or when Saliba or Gabriel needs to be rested. And for 20 million euros, guys, that's like 15 million pounds, like. That is really good price. Remember when we bought Gabriel, we paid 30 million, and look how much.
Yeah.
Look like.
And he could be a potential replacement for for Saliba. I mean, in the future.
In the future, and I think we know, like, defensively we need a little bit more cover. Depending on Tomiyasu, from what I hear, maybe there might be some developments on Tomiyasu that we might be hearing soon. So, and Kiwior as well, we know, and Zinchenko's out the door for sure, right? Because Zinchenko didn't take pictures for the next season, and neither did Thomas Partey. So that's how we know already that Zinchenko 100% was going to be sold as soon as I saw that, right? And also with Chloe Kelly, she took pictures, which is how you know that she was most likely going to be there. So yeah, I mean,
what do you mean two pictures in terms of being in the kit?
For next season, like, at the beginning of this, before the season starts, you take all the pictures that are going to be used as like marketing material, right? Sorry?
No, but do you mean the kit advert or just pictures in general?
No, not just pictures in general. Like, at the beginning of every season, every club has to do marketing for, like, when the Premier League stuff comes up, and you got to take, you know what I mean? Like all your celebration, all that stuff, right? Like, there's a lot of material that goes in before the new season that they like record, and part of that is we got to take pictures of you in the new kit. And if you're not being pictured, it's either because your contract is ending, right? So whatever, or the plan is that you're not going to be at the club, right? Like Zinchenko, his contract's not ending, but they didn't, because they planned to sell him, so there was no point in taking the pictures. So that's kind of give you an insight on how you can figure some of this stuff out, or have an assumption of what you think is going to happen, right? So yeah, Mosquera, I'm excited. I think we get it done. Second, Nico Shira said second bid has already been in, and he said Arsenal. He's rejected their bid, right? We've dangled the carrot is the new buzzwords that we're using, and we've convinced him, right? Like, once you've shown him the promised land, like, you can offer him scraps, and it doesn't matter how much scraps you offer. When you see the 5-star Michelin star restaurant, like, you're like, nah, sorry, man, like, I gotta bounce. So
yo, look at this: Gabriel Magalhaes and Carlos Tevez. Awesome. Imagine the guy was that much shorter than Gabriel, and he was terrorizing defenders.
Dude, crazy player.
He's sick.
This guy is nuts. He went from West Ham to Manchester United to Man City. Crazy.
He's a maverick. The guy's one of the biggest mavericks in football, you'll ever see. On the pitch and off the pitch. Even when he had spats at Man City to get a move to Juventus, and then he started ripping it up over there. The guy is gold.
Yo, can I ask you a question? I seen some Arsenal fans saying they would sell Ricardo Calafiori or Kiwior, and I'm like, do we want to lose squad depth players like that?
No, you can't. Calafiori is gonna absolutely bang next season. If we're gonna see how we develop Timber, and Timber's a magnificent defender, it might watch this space on Calafiori. I think Calafiori.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we developed him. I think Timber was always good. It's just unfortunate he got injured.
Yeah, but that's the same thing with Calafiori. Calafiori's been brilliant, even when he was at Bologna and Italy at the Euros, and like, he's just been problems with injuries. So if he comes back and he gets fully fit, that's the biggest problem we have with Calafiori, is because he's got injury problems the same way. But that's down to Arsenal, because Ben White, Tomiyasu, Timber, they've had injury issues in the past, and they play the very same position, right back. So and left backs are injured every now and then with Arsenal. So it's definitely something. Trust me, Calafiori, you keep him. We invested £40 million on him. It'll be silly to let him go unless his injury problems arise and the same value is.
So who do we sell, guys? Because we have to sell somebody. Martinelli. Zinchenko.
Zinchenko's going. I'd say sacrifice Martinelli. get 45 or more. Trossard's going to go, no? Is that not pretty much
No,
nailed
well
on?
now I
signed a new
saw
deal.
today saying that like Arsenal don't want to agree terms with him, like he's asking for too much, so we might sell him. So no idea.
Trossard.
Okay,
Trossard,
so
yeah, Trossard.
if I were to give you top 3 names Arsenal sell, Zinchenko,
Easy.
who else?
Zinchenko, Kiwior, Fabio Vieira, Lokonga, 4 right there, done, gone.
I'll keep
Not gonna be
Kiwior
that.
out of those 4.
No, Kiwior, I didn't name Kiwior.
Oh,
I said
sorry.
Fabio
Okay.
Vieira and Reece Nelson. Who else did I say? Now I already forgot.
Okay.
Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira, Zinchenko, and Lokonga was the 4th one.
Yeah. It's pretty much in agreement with those.
Does
Alright,
Tavares
okay.
still belong to us? Do
No,
we still own
it's gone.
Tavares?
It's gone. Sold already, and they're gonna resell him for more money than just bought him. It's crazy.
There's
Oh,
one more thing I wanted
Tavares.
to.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I wanted to talk about.
Did Arsenal get a sell-on fee with him? Like
Yes.
a sell-on
40%,
clause?
40% or 30%. Yeah.
That's not too bad then. It's not
And we
too
sold
bad.
for 8 mil, I think, or 12 mil, something like that. Yeah, we're gonna make overall profit, but considering what we could have gotten, considering
Yeah.
I'm a bit
But we would
frustrated.
never have got him for that amount when he was playing in the Premier.
Yeah,
so
no, we would never.
works
He
for
was
both
dud.
teams.
He was dud. Like he was down in the dumps, finished.
Yeah. Fair play.
I'm gonna ask you 2 random questions. First one, what do you guys think about the fact that where was it? Let me find it. 1 second. I'm gonna find it.
So Michael Rosiak is gonna be leaving Arsenal. His contract ended. Pretty bummed about that. Think he was like a kid that I was looking at upcoming, probably hoping to see him in preseason. Great at taking free kicks, can play midfield, can play right back, and that's another.
He was in the youth cup team, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
another Arsenal.
I found it.
Left for free.
Manchester City boys, one of the teams that are going to be challenging us for the league. When you see them defending like this versus Al Hilal, what are you guys saying?
Right.
Iconic. I can't lie. That's iconic.
Yeah, it is honestly.
When I seen this result, first thing I said is, Lee Gunnar was making fun of me after they beat Juventus. I'm like, I told you the defense is suspect. To concede 4 goals, and then Bernardo Silva's whiny ass coming out saying, well, they played defensive. They played how 90% of teams.
About that all the time, bro.
They conceded 4 goals, and they said they played defensive football.
Yeah, I know.
Can't be conceding silly goals and having your defense make mistakes. You know what? Credit to Al Hilal though, because
Do you guys think Man City is a big threat against us next season defensively? How they would play?
no.
Man City going to be a big threat for us.
Oh, Diaz.
But I think, you know what I genuinely believe? I think Man City 2 years ago, like, not to sound like that guy, but they genuinely had an aura where when you play them, you actually like kind of have to. Now I think teams. I don't think anyone's scared of Man City. Do you know what I mean? I feel like
gone.
But
do you know what I mean? I feel like they have this aura around them, which is like, oh my god, we're playing City. Like,
you know what that is? That's the fear factor. You see Kevin De Bruyne, you see.
I don't think anyone fears them anymore. Which is
no.
why,
But Dylan, you know what I'll tell you? Let's wait. Let's wait for the first few weeks of the season. Let's see how they play, and then people will wake up again. If they hit the ground running, killing teams 5-0, 6-0 with all the signings they made, then people will be like, they're back. They're back, right?
I'm not gonna lie. I see Savio Doku.
They never start strong. Man City.
I think this Man City team is soft. You can get at them.
Sorry?
I mean, we did 105-1 not so long ago.
People
like one thing Arteta worked hard at is to make sure this team is not soft.
Yeah, that's the one thing we've been wanting on the Wenger. And then that when we was playing some explosive tiki-taka football, now we want tiki-taka football.
D, you gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go, man. I gotta
go as well.
Love to you, man. Yeah, love to meet you boys. Yeah.
No worries, man.
Up, man.
But yeah, guys. Final thing. Do you guys think Arsenal, if we get what we need to get done, do you think we'll be right up there with Liverpool?
Yeah, but you have to go for 95 points in the Premier League to have a chance to win it.
Sorry,
you've got to make all those trends.
If we get what we need done, we'll win the league.
Exactly.
So what do we need?
We need Rodrygo. We need Gyokeres. We need Eze. We need whoever that right back is. We need Zubimendi. We need Partey extension.
Wait, right back?
Huh?
You mean Mosquera? You mean Mosquera, right?
Mosquera? Is he a right back?
Yeah, the right centre back.
He's a right back. Yeah, him. We need. That's about it. Let's just get me Rodrygo and Gyökeres and Eze and That Zubimendi.
Yeah.
Hey,
I genuinely think we'll do it.
if you get me Rodrygo and Eze, honestly, you could get me Chris Wood. I think we still win it.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's why, like, about the Watkins, I was telling you, like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna overreact to that because, like you said, I mean, if we get Rodrygo and Eze, like, bro, that's already more than beyond what I'm expecting the club to do, right? Like, in terms of profile of high quality players. Like, I'm only expecting one major high quality player, and it's Sesko is not that for me, but Rodrygo is, and Eze could be as well. So we need someone who's going to be able to break the game open, right? Like Sesko gives you different traits that I think we have in our team, whereas Eze and Rodrygo bring traits that I think we don't have in our team, which is why I would place more importance on their signings, right? And which is why I say we shouldn't judge the striker situation just on, you know, whether we sign Sesko or Gyokeres. It's much bigger than that. It's all three pieces: the cam, the left wing, and striker. Let's judge those together, right? Based on the three that we get. If it's Watkins, Sesko, Rodrygo, wow, I'm giving that like a 9. I mean, or 8.5. Really, I mean, it's up there.
You know what? We're gonna wrap it up here, boys and girls. You have yourselves a wonderful day. Hope everybody enjoyed this stream. Big up Gunnar Souls for joining. Big up Dylan for joining. Big up Ersan, the African Gunnar. Who else did I miss? D was in the building. We had 6 panelists today. Big full house. Great after last show. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Don't go anywhere, guys. I want to talk to you after the stream. Shout out to everyone. I'm going to send you over to Husam's channel. Do me a favor. Tell Husam Liverpool are not getting Isak. Liverpool are not getting
They
Isak.
know that. They can't afford Isak.
Liverpool are not. Tell them Liverpool can't afford Isak.
There's
Whatever.
no way
Just make a joke about Liverpool and Isak. And we're out of here, people. Catch you guys in the next one. Everyone on Twitter, love to you guys. All the support and all the nice messages today. And we're out of here, people. Catch you on the next one. Love.